Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I'm so glad you're here tonight, like every Sunday. I really do enjoy sharing with you the skills and strategies and the knowledge that I have because I know it can be so helpful. And tonight, especially, is going to be extra helpful because I'm going to be talking to you about how to manage your state. So, when you're feeling sad or down or depressed or wobbly, what's the quickest way to change that? So, I am really glad that you're here tonight to learn these skills. Now I'm just checking my other screen before we get started, just so I can see if there's anyone on there or if there's any comments. So if you are there, give me a thumbs up, let me know that you're there. It's nice to see who's here. And if you're watching on replay, great. It's lovely that you can take the time to watch the replay back. So tonight, as I said, I want to talk about state. And the reason I want to talk about it this week is threefold, really. I actually was teaching one of my sessions on that this week, and it was very profound for the people in my course, and some real reflection about how managing your state can be so easy, and there's some quick ways to be able to do it. So there was that. The other thing is that you may have seen on my social medias today that when I was walking, I decided to put in some skipping because the skipping is just I was doing it just for fun, but it is about moving the energy through my body to help me feel even better. So I thought I'd share that. And plus, I use this strategy all the time. So I thought, what a great one to share with you. So, we've all had those days where we're feeling flat or heavy or sad. Or maybe, life has shifted and maybe you've been through a big change, which a lot of people in this page would have been. And even though you're getting through the day, inside you feel exhausted and not yourself. And here's the truth. The fastest way for you to change how you feel isn't by waiting for your mood to lift or overthinking, which we all can do. It's through your body. So emotion, which is often what you're feeling when you're feeling sad or depressed or lonely, emotion literally means energy in motion. And when we are feeling depressed, we're often very flat and we're not moving. And so our emotions are just sitting. And what we want to do is we want to move those emotions through. That's like, even when we cry, that is actually moving energy through our body, moving and the emotions through our body. But we want to move our body to help that happen even quicker. So I have a question for you, and you might want to give me a little love heart in the comments. Have you ever noticed that even a short walk can shift your mood? If you have noticed that, pop a love heart into the comments if you felt that before. Now, your physiology, the way you hold and move your body, is the quickest way to shift your emotional state. And I'm going to share a few examples with you tonight to prove it. So let's think about it. Have you ever seen someone skipping who looked unhappy? You can't, because skipping forces your physiology up and your energy has to follow. So you will never see a sad person skipping. Anyone who is skipping is feeling happy. It works the other way too. So when you're sad or you're stuck, normally your shoulders slump and your breathing gets shallow and your energy feels heavy. Your body is literally reflecting your state. And some of you might have noticed if you sit and do a bit of a binge on Netflix, you get into a bit of a depressive state by sitting for so long if you're doing it for so long. And sometimes our teenagers, when they're playing their Xboxes and so forth, sit for a long period of time and their energy becomes stagnant. So it's really important that when we're watching Netflix or TV for a long period of time, or our kids are playing games for a long period of time, that we do get them up regularly and moving. So here is the magic. If you change your body, your state follows. So right now, if you're sitting, just try like rolling your shoulders back or sitting up taller or taking a nice deep breath. And notice how even the small shifts feels different. Imagine what a minute of skipping or dancing or walking could do. If just by shoulders back and back up straight and a breath in can shift your state, imagine, as I said, just 1 minute of moving, what it could do for you. So let me share a couple of stories with you. So a few years ago when I was a teacher and I had just really learnt so this was 2016, and I had been to a Tony Robbins 4-day event. And Tony Robbins, who is one of the gurus in personal development, teaches about how the quickest way to change your state is move your body. And so I thought after that conference, I came back to school and I thought, I'm going to try this out if a possibility presented itself to me. And this particular day, there was a little prep boy who was sitting off to the side of the playground, kind of in a bit of a ball, all hunched over, looking really sad. And I walked over to him and I just said to him, do you know how to do a cartwheel? And he looked at me, a little bit strange, asking why am I asking that? And he nodded and he got up and he tried one. And the shift was instant. His body moved, his energy moved, and his state completely changed. One cartwheel turned into 2, then 3. And suddenly he was smiling and he was engaged and ready to play again. Now, I could have gone over and said, are you okay? What's happened? And in some ways, that feeds into it and the person can stay a little bit sad. But by going over to him and asking him, can he do a cartwheel? Kind of like a pattern interrupt, but also I got him moving his body and he'd forgotten about why he was feeling sad and ready to engage in the play again. So for that little boy, nothing else had changed. His circumstances hadn't changed. Not the playground, just his physiology. And that was enough to bring him back to life. So think about that. Our circumstances are still going to be happening around us. But by moving our body, we can start to feel better about life again. Often, when we feel stuck or down, we think we need to fix the problem in our head first. But sometimes the solution is as simple as moving your body. And that is what I'm talking a lot about today. Another story I want to share with you is when I was an assistant principal, I'd often have to deal with children who had made a poor choice. Now, if I sat them down right away and said to them, so tell me why you did this, it never worked. They would shut down. So instead, I would go for a walk around the school and I'd talk about something else, something they loved, maybe sport or maybe their dog. And I would do this while we were walking. I often have another strategy that I use, which is reaching for better feeling thoughts. So when I was doing this walk, I would often say to the children, I probably didn't say it in these words, but let's reach for better feeling thoughts. I would say, so what's something that you really like to think about? And often for little kids, I might say to them, like, do you love puppy dogs or unicorns or ice creams or Ferris wheels or whatever it is, to try and take their mindset to something that's more enjoyable for them. So while we're talking and walking, their state begins to change. And once they were calmer, they could think clearly again. They could reflect, they could take responsibility, and they could work through a restorative process. So movement was the bridge that helped them move from stuck in the emotional part of the brain, so in the reptile part of the brain, to being able to think in the logic part of the brain, in the frontal cortex. Because when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And so when they're emotional or sad or depressed or stressed, they're in the back of the brain here, and I need to bring them to the front of the brain so that we can actually logically make some decisions or have some logical conversations. But that movement made that happen a lot quicker. So when you're dysregulated or sad or depressed, your body is just in survival mode. And moving your body helps bring you back into balance so you can actually process, problem solve, and make better choices. I don't know about you, but when I was just before I had separated, I was feeling very depressed, and I saw myself a lot with my head down and my shoulders down, and I felt very closed in type thing. And I was sitting and not moving my body. And if I hadn't known this then, I would have known that I needed to, bring my shoulders up, change my breathing, move my body regularly so that I could have helped me navigate that change that I was going through in my relationship at the time. You also hear that doctors will often say to patients when they come along feeling depressed, you know, um, go away and walk for 30 days and then come back and see me, and let's see where you're at, because moving that body can have the biggest positive influence on their lives. So, another example, you have probably seen the New Zealand rugby team do the haka before a match. Now, it's not just a tradition, it's a way for them to prime their state. They push energy through every cell in their body to anchor themselves in strength and confidence before stepping onto that field. Now, I teach something similar. I teach anchoring. And in this anchoring, it's about creating your own trigger, your own anchor that you will call upon when you need confidence, or you need energy, or you need clarity, whenever you need it. And for me, it's clicking my fingers. So I teach a process where I have primed my body to have prime energy, prime confidence, and really real good clarity. And I can call upon that by clicking my fingers when I need it. Now, I use this for me all the time. So I use it for big moments like speaking on stage or going into a tough meeting. So I'll share with you another story. When I was acting principal, I had to go into a difficult conversation with a parent. Now, I was nervous. Just because you're a principal doesn't mean you don't get nervous, but I was very nervous about this meeting. I wanted it to go well for everybody, for the parent and for me, but I really needed to take the best version of me into that meeting. And because I knew that I had this tool to be able to call upon my prime state with my anchor, that's what I did. It's actually quite funny. My secretary has also coached with me, and she knows about this prime state and this anchor. And she came to me to tell me that the parent was here for the meeting, and she goes, "Okay, Kylie, we need to skip." And so we're out the back and we're skipping on the spot and we're clicking our fingers. And you know what the best part about that was, is that we laughed and the energy shifted, and I felt the tension lift. All because a couple of reasons. I had somebody around me who also knew these skills and strategies and was able to support me in that moment. We called upon the strategy to move the energy through our body so that I could take in the best version of myself to that meeting. So by the time I walked into that meeting, I wasn't carrying the nerves anymore. So when I'm talking about changing your state, I'm not just talking about sad or depressed. Like, these were nerves that I was able to move through my body so that I could go in with calm and focus and confidence as well. So in that meeting, I was present, I was calm, and I could handle myself in a way where I felt proud. And that's the power of your physiology and priming your state. It gives you access to the best version of yourself right when you need it the most. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The fastest way to change your state isn't waiting for your emotions to change. That won't happen. It's moving your body. That will change your emotions. That will change your state. That will move the negative energy through you so that you can be in the best version of you. So if you're feeling sad or flat, move your body. Go for a walk around the block. Walk out onto the grass. Do some grounding. Whatever it is, just to keep moving that energy through you. If you're feeling anxious, try shaking out your arms or your legs. Again, moving that energy through you. Or when you need confidence, Try jumping or skipping or dancing to lift your energy. It doesn't have to be big or long. A few minutes of movement can completely shift your state. So, the next time that you're feeling heavy, don't just sit in it. Get up, move, and watch how quickly the energy changes. So, what's one way you love to move that instantly makes you feel better? Is it dancing? Is it walking? Is it exercise? Is it squats? Is it push ups? Um, you're just skipping on the spot. What is it? Pop it in the comments so that we can share the ideas with each other. So, ladies, if this has resonated with you, I want to invite you to go deeper with me in the coming weeks in my free 45-minute live workshop. So, I'm going to be running a workshop and it's called Reclaim You. I'll start again. Reclaim Your Life and Yourself After Everything Changes. And this is for women who've been through big life changes and are feeling stuck, lost, or disconnected from who they are. Now, in the 45 minutes, and I made it 45 minutes so that you can easily find that time for yourself, I'll share with you my rebuild method. Now, this method is a simple, powerful, 3-step framework to help you reconnect with yourself. Dream again without guilt. Find the strategies to be able to help you navigate that change and start to create a future you're proud of. That's what my rebuild method does. And I'm going to be sharing that method in this free workshop in a couple of weeks' time. So the free workshop is going to be on Saturday, the 20th of September at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, and it'll be live on Zoom. There will be, I'll be sharing with you a bit about my story, the rebuild method, and then if you're interested, if you want to work with me further from there, you can. But for those of you who are just a little bit intrigued about what I teach and how I can support you, come along. You've got nothing to lose. Now, if you're interested, comment or DM me the word workshop and I'll send you the registration link. I'd love to see you there. I love talking about this stuff and what a beautiful 45 minutes we could have together. Now, and remember, you don't have to do this alone and you don't have to stay stuck in survival mode. You can shift your state, rebuild and rise into a life that feels like yours again. I've done it. I've created a beautiful life for myself, a beautiful relationship, home, car, holidays, relationships with children, a dream job, a healthy body, healthy mindset, and I help other women do that as well. And sometimes you just need that little bit of support to start to believe that it can happen again. And that's what I will share with you in my workshop. So as I said again, if you're interested, comment or DM me the word workshop and I'll send you the link to join me. So ladies, thank you for being here tonight or being on replay. I hope you have got something out of that. Remember, when you're feeling wobbly, depressed, down, lacking confidence, move your body. It is the quickest way to change your state. Now go out, move your body and watch your state shift. Have a great week. Bye.